In in July 2024, we took a trip to Buffalo, and these are the pictures that we took. And what we did is we went through South Buffalo, covering places that uh, were important in my life. And my daughter Jenna was with us, and these are the pictures from that trip. So the first one here is of the Mercy Hospital of Buffalo, where I was born in 1957. And it's a long time ago. And here's a video from that area. And that's the hospital up here. And then over here is Mount Mercy Academy, where my mother and some of my friends went to high school. And from there, we went to Clio Avenue in South Buffalo. Number 20. When I was here as a baby, this whole front part was open porches. That might have been screen windows enclosing it, but it wasn't enclosed like that. Um, so that is Clio, and here's another picture of it with Jenna in it. So when I lived there, I was a baby. Lived there. I was the oldest of five, so I was born first, and I believe that I lived there with my mom and dad and my grandmother. Here's a video of that area from 20 Clio, going down the street and across the street, and that's how the neighborhood looks today. And from there we went to St. Thomas Roman Catholic Church, where I was baptized as a baby. Well, I wasn't baptized, but I had water poured on me. And there's Jenna and I in front of it, and a video of that area, of the church itself, and the rectory, bell tower, I guess. We had a beautiful day to do this filming. And from then, I went to Cazenovia Street, where my grandmother Caldwell lived, at 90 Cazenovia. That doesn't look much different from when I spent time there. Jenna said, when was I baptized? As a baby. So here's Cazenovia. There's the house right there. We're zooming in on it. And it's right across the street from Cazenovia Park on Cazenovia Street. Another picture of the house with Jenna and I. And here's some pictures of the park across the street. Here's a video. This Cazenovia Park is a large Olmsted park designed by the same person who designed Central Park in New York City. He designed several parks in Buffalo, New York, and connected them all together by roadways, boulevards, or parkways. And in the park, just down the street on Cazenovia, is a public library. It was a public library when I was a kid, and I spent a lot of time in there reading books, checking out books, turning books back in. And now it's called the Cazenovia Resource Center and Library. And that particular thing says it was established in 2006. So before that, it was probably just the Cazenovia branch library of the Buffalo Library System. I wonder if I wore down some of those steps there, going in and out. So right there, looking from the library toward down Cazenovia is a view of the rest of the park. See, there's the library. And it's situated inside this large area of Cazenovia Park. Again, that's the back of the library. There's the softball fields, baseball fields. And in the background is the Cazenovia Creek. Another picture of the baseball diamonds. I talked about the creek earlier. We spent a lot of time in the park and around the creek, and there's people still using the creek today for playing, getting wet, enjoying the summertime. There's my grandson Declan. He says, "What are we doing here? Can I get in the water?" So from the creek, we walked up here to this, I believe it was called the shelter house. So here's a video of us from looking from the creek, across the ball diamonds, and walking over to the shelter house. Outside the shelter house are these uh, statues. There's a video of the Frank Callahan Memorial. And right outside that is a beautiful American flag. Let's see. Yep, it's called the shelter house. Not sure when those signs were put up there, but or whether they were there when I was a kid. Now this fella, Datasaurus Rex, is my son-in-law, Chris, married to Jenna, father of Declan, and Chris Corbin. Are you sure? When did you change his name? So inside this building, as you can see, it's pretty old. And there's a couple of restrooms. And I don't remember when I was a kid whether those restrooms are open or not. They may have been. I just can't tell you. So here's another video. We are looking at Cazenovia Pool. It's now covered by grass. I'll play that one more time. This area that's all grass in front of this, what's called the casino building, was pools. There was a diving pool on this end, and on the end that we started with was the 3-foot to 5-foot pool. So we're standing right where the pools would have been. And we would get out of the pool and go up these steps and into the casino building where our lockers were and bathrooms were. So since then, they've filled it in with grass and put a sidewalk in here. But I spent many hours as a kid in that pool. That's the left side of the building from the pool, and the right side from the pool. As you see, there's no water now. So on the back side of this building, we can see the shelter house in the distance. And this would be the casino area. To the right would have been a door where you could go in and get cotton candy and snacks. And looking down into this area where the trees are, before I was alive, there was a lake in here. And that casino building was used for canoes, rentals, and so forth to use on that area that was once the lake. Now we're looking from the casino walkway or porch over to the area where the baby pool was. Right now it looks like it's a fountain pool where you can jump in and get wet. And from there, of course, adjacent to the park is, uh, if you look back here in the corner, that is the park over from where we came. But this is St. John the Evangelist, uh, the grammar school right there, and the church over here,
You went to those.
where I attended school and went to mass. The school now has been converted into a work of the Father Baker mission, and I think that they deal with uh, kids that need help in this building here. The church is now closed, doesn't have masses or a priest, but here's the side of it. Pretty big building. The sign still says St. John the Evangelist Catholic Church, and I don't know if they've put any different use to that building now. But I spent many a Sundays and sometimes during the week going in there and going to mass and being an altar boy. So here's a video from the side of the church looking towards the grammar school and the parking lot. You can see the park in the background, and that's Seneca Street and St. John's Parkway. So from there, not even a mile away, probably a half a mile, if that, is 55 Newman, where we moved from Clio Avenue when I was young and pretty much grew up there going through the 8th grade until we moved down the street. But that's 55 Newman.
Didn't she say something about the upstairs versus the downstairs there?
Well, it was a duplex. So the downstairs is where we lived, and the upstairs is where the landlord lived.
It's not a duplex now though, right?
I don't know. There's another picture of it, and another picture of it with a hairy guy in front of it, and the hairy guy and his daughter. So this is where we moved just down the street to 35 Newman. We lived in the downstairs flat, and the landlords lived in the upstairs flat. And again, we're still right on the park, as this next video will show. That's where the McGuires lived, and the Hanleys. And 55 is just down here. And across the street from all that is this beautiful park. Basketball courts, tennis courts. Spend summer days there all day long until it was time to go home. Don't get dizzy watching this video. So here's a video from, well, I guess it's not much of a video, just a picture of where you could see the school building from 55 Newman. So, quarter of a mile maybe. We would walk from home to school, right down the street and across the road to the school building. Now this is 48 Birch. So from Clio to 55 Newman to 35 Newman to 48 Birch. My mother bought this house, I believe it was $20,000 back when I was a teenager. It's a little house that sits on 3 lots. So from 48 Birch, we took a trip to Highmark Stadium, the home of the Miami Dolphins.
What?
As you can see, there's dolphin symbols all over it. I'm only saying that because my son-in-law is a big Dolphins fan. I didn't get to talk to Jenna before she got married, so that's what happened. But Chris was interested in seeing all this. He's in the car as we're looking at the training center. Now, all of this is being replaced by a construction across the parking lot of the new stadium, which will be the home of the Bills in the 2026 season. And in a year's time, that has changed. It's much higher, much bigger right now than it was a year ago. And this is a view of the stadium from Louis' hot dog stand, where we went and ate some official Texas Red Hots. The only reason we went here is that the Seneca Texas Red Hots on Seneca Street was closed. And from there, we went to Ted's, where they have charcoal broiled hot dogs. Very famous in Buffalo, Ted's Hot Dogs. This is the one in Hamburg or Orchard Park near the stadium. And there's my grandson. On the trip home, he saw too much of South Buffalo. And while he was sleeping, we got to see this pickup truck. It was driving down the highway, falling apart. Wow. Yep, driving down the highway, falling apart. It didn't fall apart. It just was going. Looked like it was going to fall apart. And that's it.